Hello, duelists, and welcome to the King's Court. Now, this is going to be a very different kind of video. Man, I don't even know what to title this. I'm sure when you're watching this, I'll have the title up there and all that. But right now, I'm just kind of like speaking from the. It's gonna sound corny. Speaking from the heart, I guess you could say. Now, if you live here in the States like I do, obviously. We all grew up in the whole, it's 4th of July, you know, Independence Day, the 4th. Most people just call it the 4th. You know, and everyone probably is memeing it up. You know, Americans just want to, like, you know, party, have barbecues and all that. And for the most part, that is true. Personally, I hate fireworks. They scare my dogs, and I have sensitive hearing. Not the point. The point is, there's another thing I want to talk about today. Ever since last year, I think we can all agree on this. July 4th now holds another very special day for a lot of us. Like, I know not everyone who's subscribed to the channel is here for Yu-Gi-Oh content. I think a majority are, and I'm cool with that. Again, this channel is just to represent, you know, the games we like to play here. On the me and channel member Michael like to play, as well as the friends of the channel. But Yu-Gi-Oh has always held a very special place. In case you already know what I'm talking about the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, the world-famous mangaka Kazuki Takahashi, passed away last year. And a lot of people like who do Yu-Gi-Oh content, whether it's, you know, skits, you know, stuff like we do here on the channel, talk about the competitive scene, or heck, people who even just talk about the anime or the manga, have, you know, a lot of them already like did, you know, their tribute to Kazuki Takahashi, but we didn't actually have a channel at the time. We didn't start our channel until about late September, which is actually coming pretty close. I remember because that's actually around my birthday, so it's two probably special videos I'm gonna do for that for September, but that's not the point. The point is, I just want to talk about. I want to thank, you know, I don't know, like his spirit, or to share my feelings about it, because I got a lot of feelings when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. So if you're expecting like another deck profile, or heroes are going to be mentioned here. Like, for those who watch our content for, like, watch our Yu-Gi-Oh content for hero stuff, heroes are going to be mentioned. And the same thing applies to channel member Michael for the decks he plays, because we got a certain thing we do here on the channel. Like, I'll explain that in a sec. So, usually this is where I would plug in the whole, you know, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. But like, I'm kind of breaking my own rule just bringing that up. But this isn't about that. I mean, if you want to share this video, that's cool. All I want is to just get my feelings out, just because I had some other videos planned for this week, but when I remembered what today was, it almost slipped my mind, actually, because, you know, 4th of July, I have relatives and all that stuff I had to take care of through the week. When I remembered also what 4th of July now is, I just wanted to talk about it, because, like I said, we didn't have a channel at the time. So, if you want to click off now, and you don't want to, like, hear, I don't know, get ready for the waterworks or something, okay, I doubt it'll be that emotional, but if you don't want to hear that, I understand. If you just want to know about. And don't worry, we'll have some more Yu-Gi-Oh content up later this week, as well as some more Digimon and Pokemon stuff too. So if you just want to see that stuff, it's cool. But this is going to be coming from the heart, and it's going to be Yu-Gi-Oh based. So let's get down to it. Okay, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since I can remember. I played all throughout middle school, obviously. I think I started around the time GX came out. The first ever Yu-Gi-Oh anything I ever had was the old school Kaiba deck. But the first deck I ever built on my own was it was like a zombie, pyramid turtle, zombie, vampire zombie deck. It wasn't very good. But then when Heroes came out, that's when things started getting a little more serious for me. Like, I started playing more in middle school, and then in high school I started playing the competitive scene, because that's like I started learning more about, like, you know, card stores. I started learning about locals, sneak peeks, all that stuff, and that's where it basically started. I played off and on through high school, you know, because, you know, Pokemon was also a thing for me, too. Originally, the channel was actually going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon focused, as well as, like, Smash Bros. And stuff, but, then we added, you know, Digimon and all that, but that's not the point. The point is, Yu-Gi-Oh's been a part of my life since I can remember, and, you know, even in college I played. Me and channel member Michael always wanted to start a channel that involved Yu-Gi-Oh! But, again, like, I guess I'll share a little bit. I don't like to share too much of my personal life, you know, privacy reasons, but, we went to college and all that, and we had to make sure, we wanted to start a channel, actually, when we got out of high school, but personal things came up and we couldn't because we wanted to focus on school. And when we started our channel, we were already out of school for like 2 years or so, and we just wanted to, you know what, why not, let's just start it. And that's why we started making videos. And obviously Yu-Gi-Oh content surely followed. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but basically I want to I'm very grateful to, because I know Yugioh has, like, it has, it's, you know, issues. I mean, everywhere you look, you always see people want to say, you know, this is a kid's game, you know. And, you know, that's fine if you want to do it that way. You know, I don't believe in trying to force people to view things the way I view things. But to me, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just like people who grew up watching or playing football or stuff like that. Obviously, it's not to the same degree as, like, physical, you know, intensity, but it's a certain way people like to use in order to distract themselves from, you know, it's therapeutic, really, because, really quick, I don't know if you heard that, those fireworks already going off. I don't know why, you can't even see them. Anyways, it's therapeutic, you know, it's a hobby. It's a way you can pass the time and enjoy yourself. It's something you enjoy. Because it's very important to have those in life because it helps people deal with stress and anxiety. Now, really quickly, you know, I don't want to go into full detail, but I went to college for psychology. I have a bachelor's in it and all that. I don't talk about that sort of thing here on the channel. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because I did my final paper, my final exam, on an essay on how different people deal with stress and anxiety. And I did bring up that I like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And other card games, but primarily Yu-Gi-Oh! For cards, as a stress reliever. Because, yes, the games can be intense, but it's that intensity that makes it so fun. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! At the end of the day, the card game is just addicting, and it's hard to put down. And don't get me wrong, I've been mad at the game too. You know, we all have those days where we just keep losing. No one likes to lose. I've had those days where I just don't even want to look at the series, but, you know, those come and go. You know, everyone goes through a rut. But there's never been a point in my life where I hated the series. There's been points in my life where I just gave up on everything, but that's because, like, you know, real world depression, stuff like that's not the point. That's not important. The point is, I'm very grateful for the world that Kazuki Takahashi created. Through it, I've met some of the closest friends I've ever had. Channel member Michael is one of them. In case you don't know, channel member Michael is actually like my stepbrother, but we met when we were 12, and, you know, it's a long story, but one of the things we got along with was our love for Yu-Gi-Oh! A bunch of my friends who follow the channel, a lot of them also play, and I'm pretty sure they have their own stories. Not only that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually kind of saved my life. And I know that sounds corny, but it's because I grew up in a very, very, very very high poverty-stricken area where I'm from. Gang violence was the normality. I heard my first gunshots before I was even in kindergarten. Bunch of, you know, I won't go into personal details, but I've known a lot of people who went away and are still away for horrendous crimes, and that could have been me. You know, I had anger issues growing up, and I did end up, was close at one point to go I got suspended a couple of times for fighting, just because how bad my temper was. Yu-Gi-Oh, though, gave me something else to focus on. It gave, like, you know, I wasn't that into sport. I mean, I like pro wrestling, but, you know, I wasn't that big into sports and all that. You know, school was fine, but Yu-Gi-Oh gave me something that I personally enjoyed. I love trading. I love playing against people. I love meeting new people through the game. And one of my favorite things I've learned recently that I love is to hear people's favorite decks and why they love that deck so much. So, really quickly, I'm going to share something very important to me. And again, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And I just want to thank Kazuki Takahashi for giving us this amazing series, because if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for the series, I really feel like some of my closest friends, I wouldn't know them. When I was growing up, I had a very close friend. I knew someday I would talk about this on the channel, but I was hoping for, I don't know, I never knew when it would, but I guess now it's as good a time as ever. I didn't have a real friend until I met someone very important to me when I was around 11 years old. I didn't meet channel member Michael until I was 12, like I said. We were in middle school, but it was the year before that I met someone very important to me. We both loved video games. You know, we played Pokemon all the time, Smash Bros. I would wreck him all the time in Street Fighter. He destroyed me in Melee. He was a monster at Melee. One of the biggest things we always had, our love, was Yu-Gi-Oh. He was a dinosaur player. Like, he was a dino player before dino players were even a thing. He legitimately, he played that old school GX Ultimate Tyranno, you know, Superconductor Tyranno deck. He loved dinosaurs. His favorite movie of all time was Jurassic Park. He was that kid who would literally just draw dinosaurs all day when he was young. And me, my favorite deck was Heroes. As soon as GX premiered, like in the West at least, and I saw it, I went crazy just seeing Flame Wingman for the first time. GX came around in 2004. Yeah, so I would have been around 10. So yeah, that would have been roughly around the same time I met him, because I met him like when I was like 10 and a half, 11. So the timing was just perfect. We literally would, and then when we met channel member Michael when I was 12, channel member Michael's favorite deck was like machines, basically, which especially Cyber Dragons. He had like a Earth machine. I guess you could call it like channel member Michael's like known in our area for playing Earth machines and Cyber Dragons, and those are the decks he still plays. Back then, he had like a generic machine beatdown deck and Cyber Dragons. Not much has changed with him. Me, it was always Heroes. We would play constantly for hours and hours and hours, just constantly setting up, you know, just playing the game. And we didn't even keep track of who lost. When the life points hit 0, we would just start all over and keep playing for hours. Honestly, looking back, this is just some of my favorite times in my life when I was a kid. I never gave up on Heroes. Even when a new deck did catch my eye, like, you know, I play with Dolce sometimes, and I did play Dark Warrior Synchro for a while just because that deck was really cool. But Heroes has always been and will always be my favorite in main deck, always. And the reason I'm bringing this friend up, I'm not going to go into personal things. I'm not going to say his name because his family is still around, but he passed away when I was around 19. When I barely, I had to repeat a year of high school, so I would have just barely been, no, I think I just barely finished my first semester at college, but yeah, he passed away. A day doesn't go by where I don't think about him. Sorry. A single day never goes by where I don't think about him. And when I play Heroes, it's like, it takes me back to that. You know, just like the GX team goes. I do just miss being able to, you know, I am very appreciative of my life where I am right now. like I said, I'm the first person in my family to go to university and even graduate, let alone get a degree. Things get hard, but I'm very happy with where I am right now. But I'd give anything to see him one more time. And that's why, whenever I'm playing Heroes, it feels like I'm right back there, playing on that bench with him, just like we used to. And I would never have these memories if it wasn't for the amazing series and world that Kazuki Takahashi created. I don't know. I don't know if this is a tribute or just a memory sharing moment, but this is how I feel. You can go ahead and call me sappy or whatever, but this is just how I feel. And that's why I love Yugioh so much. I've never given up on it. At least not, well, I've taken breaks. Breaks are important in any game. I took a break from Pokemon for a long time. That's why we're barely starting to bring that to the channel. I took a long break from Digimon. Like, I stopped looking at the series after Tamers, I think. Something like, no, not Tamers. The third one. Yeah, after Digimon Tamers, I stopped looking at the series altogether. It wasn't until the card game came out and Channel Member Michael got me to start playing. Yugioh, though, is obviously I've taken breaks from that, but I've never once stopped loving the series. And I don't think I will. Like I said, some of my closest friends I've met through the game, and I would never have that if it wasn't for Takahashi. And I'm very grateful. And I will always be grateful. So, I'm not going to ask, you to subscribe or anything. If you want, go ahead. But this isn't that kind of video. I want to know in the comments your favorite, most cherished memories when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! And what the series means to you. To me, the series is an amazing series of not just a card game, but just an amazing franchise that brought so many people together. And in my case, saved my life and kept me out of trouble. So, I want to know your story. Let me know in the comments. If you don't want to share, I understand. But again, this is just my story. And I just want to, one more time, I want to thank Kazuki Takahashi. Like, if his spirit is watching, like, I don't know. I'm not really the most spiritualistic person, but I just want to thank him and everyone involved with the series and everyone who watches our videos for Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.